Welcome to the program and Happy New Year. After the 2024 economic headwinds that left many Nigerians struggling for survival, it's a new year with huge expectations. Economic indicators remain bleak. Headline inflation figures above 34% and multidimensional poverty hitting over 70%. The government is making an attempt to rebase the economy, promising better days ahead. However, hunger protests from last year and more recent stampedes across the country are a stark reminder of the untold hardship in the nation. In his goodwill message, President Bola Tinubu remained resolute in his plans to bring down inflation to 15%. He also insists the economic indicators reflect a positive outlook with bold claims of decrease in fuel price, rise in foreign reserves, the naira taking an upward drive, and the stock market growth generating trillions of naira. With the president's New Year message declaring more glorious days ahead, can Nigerians take him for his word? I'm delighted to have Kabiru Faskari Ibrahim, a chieftain of the All Progressives Congress and president All Farmers Association. Wonderful to have you on the program.
Thank you for having me.
And Happy New Year is in order.
Happy New Year to everybody.
Yes.
And I sent a message,
okay.
a goodwill message for the New Year for everyone.
Yes.
Even though I tried to explain to them that there are troubles ahead.
Yes.
But we will overcome them.
I mean, we were able to drag you out of your house on the first day of the year.
Luckily, I traveled and I just came back and happened to be in Abuja. So when I was called, it was easy for me to say I would come. So yes. I'm happy to be here and we would do anything for Nigeria.
Thank you so much. Yes. So on this first day, how does it feel as a Nigerian? What do you see for the country?
Well, I don't want to, exaggerate my enthusiasm for the new year. It means a new age for me. And 2025 portends a very good thing for Nigerians because the budget and the president's speech are all encouraging. And we hope that the budget will be properly implemented and the president will walk his talk.
Mm. So that's a good one, walking his talk.
Yeah.
Do you think, looking at last year, that he had been walking his talk?
Well, last year, more than any time in the past, there were many, many windows of support to the smallholder farmers and to small businesses in Nigeria to be able to really make a difference. Unfortunately, many things happened, and the global phenomenon of, downward trend in the economy from COVID-19 and many acts of God that we have had in Nigeria, floodings and dry spells and of course insecurity that we have been having have been really inhibiting factors to, what we thought would happen. Hmm. In 2024, in fact, I came to this studio to say that we expected a bumper harvest.
Yes.
But just at about harvest time, we began to have flooding and we lost grains instead of, taking them home, we lost them to flooding and all that. And that's why there is a lot of challenge now in the entire food system. Mm-hmm. The country is really facing a lot of troubles, right. And even the president accepted and said that to the Nigerians and pleaded with people to be patient but to look up with hope for 2025, and I do the same.
Right.
Yes.
But it's interesting that you talk about all the floods, natural disasters, which you cannot do much about. However, it's not the first time, you know that. So it means that every year you expect this kind of natural occurrences and so you prepare for them. In your estimation, do you think that the administration was a bit better prepared for all of this?
Well, I would like to give you a mixed bag.
Yes.
You see, what brought about flooding and dry spells and all that is actually climate change. And there are many, many things to be done to mitigate the effect of climate change. It's not only Nigeria's problem,
but
it's
we
a
also
global
had, climate change. Everybody, or most people now blame climate change for everything. There was, of course, the dams, that were overflowing, and a couple of other things. So it's not only climate change.
Well, if the dams are I mean, were flooded or they overspilled and they caused havoc and all that. And how did they get the water to get that kind of effect? The thing is that we must not look at climate change as a very narrow phenomenon. It's the global temperature is rising beyond even 1.5 degrees centigrade, and we must be able to bring it down. And this is global. I mean, if you are talking of dam, probably you are talking of that dam in Cameroon. You know, that dam has caused a lot of problems in the past, but not as much as it has done lately. And so it's a cumulative effect of climate change. And climate change is not blamed for these things. This is reality, not fairy tale. We were in denial of what climate change could do, but now I think we know better. We have a climate change commission in Nigeria. We have committed at COP28, we are in COP29 and all that, and the whole world is committing to mitigation or mitigating factors to climate change.
Well, apart from climate change, there are so many things that government can also do to be more functional. But let's talk about the president's New Year message. Overall, what is your general impression of that message to Nigerians today? Well,
the president, I think, was being both apologetic and enthusiastic, you know, and of course his message has always been renewed hope. Yes. And he has spoken a lot about it, and the Nigerians have to just give him that chance and support government to be able to get to that promised land. 2025 is a very important year for this administration, because beyond this, I think in 2026, we will start talking about re-election and all that. So whatever work will be done to show that Nigeria will be better done this year. And then in my own enthusiasm, when we were doing the Agric Show in November, I had said that if you incentivize the smallholder farmers properly and transparently, you would be able to impact the food system. And in fact, you could even have food sufficiency in 2025. You must look at short-term measures to be able to bring more food to the Nigerian people, because the situation is becoming very dire. People are not able to feed themselves properly. People are not able to go about their businesses because they have empty stomachs and all that. So we have to do a lot. And 2025 should be the year of reflection and concerted effort from all. Government cannot do it alone. Right. All stakeholders in the food production industry must work together with government seriously, not just by word of mouth, but seriously. We must be able to partner to make Nigeria better fed.
Okay, when you talk about partnering, you know, people from different sectors doing much more, what particularly, specifically do you mean by that?
What I mean is that, you know, as farmers, we're just looking for enabling environment. If government brings out a support system, you should know that the country has about 30, 40 million farmers. Yeah, whatever government brings out is like a drop in the ocean. But what we want more than anything is the enabling environment. That is to say, you know, transportation of food crops is a very, very vital thing as to, you know, at least for the cost and affordability of people. I mean, for our people, young people should be able to buy food wherever they are at a very good price. Therefore, we must do something on the transport system. We must do something on security. The farmers who produce must be able to go to their farm seamlessly and produce seamlessly, so that they will optimize the production as time goes on and everybody will get. We must have some mechanization in the short term, even if it's light mechanization, so that human power will be replaced by machine power and you have more productivity. You must have good seeds. You must have good marketing. People who farm, because we are the majority in the country, must have sufficient markets, and people should be able to afford what we have to bring to the market, to sell and to do other things that we have to do, because we also buy from the same market as everybody else.
Yeah. Let me take you up on two things. You talked about 30 million farmers. Explain to us, does this mean that we actually have 30 million people feeding Nigerians, or what is it? This number, it seems bogus. It does. What is it?
Well, what it is very clear. Most of these people are subsistence farmers.
Right.
They are actually farming to feed themselves first. But a lot of them, a very large number of them also feed the whole country, because whatever it is, if you go to the market, all the food items you see are produced by the smallholder farmers. The big farmers, commercial farmers, or the conglomerates that do agribusiness and all that, sell at the supermarkets where a majority of us cannot go and buy. So you go to the market, go to Use market, go to any farmer's market, you see something that is being sold there is from the smallholder farmer. So even a woman farming at the backyard, producing banana and vegetables, goes there to sell. And therefore, these people have to be reckoned with. You must look at them as farmers. And people who have even intention to join our own association are also called farmers.
Okay.
People like you are also farmers.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind being a farmer, actually. I wouldn't mind having a vegetable beyond my backyard. You know, I think every Nigerian should
That's
do
how
that.
we all began. My story
Right.
is that I started poultry farming because my wife was doing it at the backyard.
Yes.
And then I began poultry farming, and I became even the president of Poultry Farmers Association of Nigeria.
So the other points I wanted to take you up on was the seeds you mentioned, very important. Are you aware of the genetically modified seeds conversation? The reason why that's critical is that there's that talk about, you know, having GMO seeds, you buy them from, you know, the big international companies, and then your own seeds eventually cease to exist, and so that means every year you have to buy from people, and then they own and control your food system.
Well,
that's a very important
on the contrary, I don't believe in that. You know, my background is science, and I embrace biotechnology.
Okay.
And to that extent, I will tell you very clearly here and now that we do not buy seeds from large concerns that come to Nigeria to sell. Most of the genetically modified seeds that we have, 3 of them that have been released commercially.
In Nigeria?
In Nigeria, yes.
Right.
They are here. They are produced here by our scientists.
Okay.
They are not. We are not buying them from large or conglomerates or whatever you have.
So which seeds are these specifically?
The seeds are PBR cowpea, teller maize, and cotton. You know, they call it Bolgard 2. And they call the PBR means the pod borer resistant cowpea. That, you know, we have a deficit of beans in this country, about 500,000 metric tons. To close that gap, we need to look at, because these things are all actually hybrid. You know, our scientists are juggling with many things to prevent the effect of some insects on some of these seed types. And this is what has happened. And this is what you call genetic engineering. It's not bad in itself. What you bring out as a genetically modified product is not bad in itself. I have been privileged to attend many international conferences on this matter. I went to ITCA in Cornell, the best university on agriculture in the world. And in 2017 or so, we had a global food security conference where antis and pros came. And we listened to all of them. Everybody brought their argument. At the end of it, no nexus could be established between disease and any GMO crop.
But talking about the controlling of the food system, you're very much aware that it's important that the country is able to control its own food chain.
Of course, and we do that. Okay. Does anybody else do it for us? We do that. No, we do that. Right. You see, we have the biosafety agency. They are, in fact, before you release anything, they have to give you go ahead. And all the people, including NAFDAC and everybody, is a member of that agency. And therefore, whatever comes out and is released commercially is good and wholesome for consumption. And we are controlling our food system. Nobody controls our food system.
Okay, let's talk about APC, All Progressives Congress, your party. You're a founding member of the APC. You used to be with the Congress for Progressive Change before it merged. So the reason why I'm asking is that we are here today. The party has been in power for about 10 years. When you think back, what you get with APC today, is that what you envisioned? Are you on the path that you had planned from the beginning as a founding member?
Well, as far as I'm concerned, the development of Nigeria is work in progress. If you recall, we all came to APC from PDP. And people said PDP did not do well. And it had about 16 years. Nigeria is a very vast country. We have many, many needs, and we have to rearrange our thought process, our actions, our commitments, and we must get rid of corruption. Most of the things that have been happening are really sprouting from corruption. The APC may have shown maybe very low, achievements, but it's largely because of many factors. Corruption plays a very important role there. But it's unfortunate that we have had this insecurity that have been pervading the nook and crannies of Nigeria. And this has been really, really a threat factor to development. And that is why, because food is everybody's concern. And the inflation, food inflation, it's very high now. And so people don't see any other thing that government does because they are hungry. So, but there are many, many achievements. Many, many. In fact, you now, from the wage you get, you now have to think very well how to even apply it, how to spend it, how to do that. And you also know how to think from outside the box to be able to make ends meet and all that. These are all things that you have had to learn because of the experiences that we have had over this period of time.
So the corruption point that you mentioned, do you think that President Bola Tinubu of your party is in the best position or has the credentials to fight it, or has he even done anything on that front?
As far as I'm concerned, you look at it from the institutional reforms, that you must be able to explain how 10 naira becomes 20 naira and how the 20 naira you collected from anywhere as revenue is utilized, how the money you appropriated for anything is actually utilized. If those institutions are what the president has been working on to do that, I would give him a very high mark.
But has he been doing that?
In fact, unknown to most of you, I have several businesses. Besides being a farmer, I'm an architect. I do construction. I do many things even in the oil industry and all that. And what we see there is some kind of sanity in the way these things are done that is minimizing the incident of corruption. There are corrupt officials who are doing things that are inimical to even what the president stands for. The president cannot be everywhere. He cannot rule the government, govern the Nigerian system all alone. He has people to support him, and it's very difficult for him to really check everybody. But a mechanism to minimize the effect of corruption is in place, and it is work in progress. You remember that when Muhammad Buhari was president, he was known to be a ramrod person who was, to whom corruption or anything illegal was caviar, and he couldn't control everybody. Jonathan too, when he was president, he couldn't control anybody. Even Obasanjo could not control everybody. So, it's Nigeria, it's you and I that should loathe corruption. That we should not be impressed by anybody who flaunts things that he or she got through corrupt practices. So when we do that, we will now stop corruption.
There's that. So what you're essentially saying is that one can cast President Bola Tinubu as an anti-corruption fighter. Because yes, there are institutions. However, the president also sets the tone. You understand that, don't you?
Oh, but of course, the president has not come out himself to say that he is a corruption tsar. He has never claimed that.
Yeah, but it's an important work to do.
But you see, in fact, in the United States, has Biden come out to say that he's a corruption tsar?
This is not United States of America.
So what I'm saying is that if the person you are talking about has come out to say he is there to fight corruption, then you take him up on it. But many of you have taken up Muhammad Buhari on that. But I don't think President Tinubu has made that assertion. He has not come out to say that he is here to fight corruption. He is here on the economy. He wants to do something on the economy and for Nigeria to be better economically. And then when you have economic prosperity, you now start being very hard on corruption and things will get better. And that's what the United States has done.
Well, let's see how that pans out. However, let's go back to your party, the APC. Do you truly believe that the APC is pro-masses? From what we've seen, it's been a rough 10 years.
Of course, the APC had always started out as pro-people, and it is pro-people.
Today,
yes. But what
how so?
What it is, and I want you to appreciate this very much. When I came here before this interview, probably you thought, since I was in APC, I should be happy with APC if I have an appointment. If I was minister or I was it. But that is not what we should all be. Not all of us will be ministers, not all of us will be anything. But from the governance structure, we should be able to see an impact on what happens to the majority of the people. What people are crying about now is as a result of inability to afford food. This is what has beclouded everybody's horizon. Now, if work is being done to make our currency become stronger, to make food more readily available and affordable, and these things happen, and the challenged people, that is the people who are really most challenged, are being supported in so many ways by the government, we will say that the government is pro-people. Yeah. But if the government is elitist, it's only giving people like me a possibility to become anything and to amass more wealth, that we will all die and live here, then this is not pro-people. But this APC government is looking at those people who are mostly challenged and is supporting them to get to a level where they can fend for themselves. But you see, the issue of food,
yes,
and as a farmer,
it affects everybody.
As I always say,
yes,
we must do something. We must work seriously to make sure that people are able to feed themselves seamlessly.
It's affecting everybody.
Everybody.
I mean, all levels of society today.
Even the president has
yes,
people who come to him, who are his relations, who are begging him to help them to buy food. So he knows this problem, and that's why I think in his speech,
okay,
he has even mentioned that. So he is pro-people because he understands that people are going through a lot of problems. The thing is that we should give them the chance, and I have told you, 2025 should be a very good year for us to see where we are really headed. Beyond 2025, we are going to be talking of re-election. Right. So anything that the president will do or this government should do, they should actualize all of their plans in 2025 for people to see that they mean business.
You keep saying give them the chance, but they've been given the chance. I mean, the president didn't win with up to 40% of the vote. He's had about 2 years now, to do his thing. But let's talk about inflation. He says inflation, he wants to bring down inflation from over 30 to 15%. Does that sound compelling to you? I mean, we need single digits.
It may be ambitious, but
yes,
it is doable.
Yes.
It is ambitious, but doable. I have said myself
that
there should be,
yeah,
no, I have said myself that if you incentivize smallholder farmers, you would get food security in 2025. It is ambitious but doable.
And the final thing is the APC, tell us or give us 2 good reasons why Nigerians should continue to support the All Progressives Congress and President Bola Tinubu.
As far as I'm concerned, I have not started campaigning. We're not campaigning. So it's up to you to make that decision. But ask me that in 2027.
Is it even worth it? What the
well,
party leaders discuss?
Are you already being partisan?
I'm not.
Are you a member of the opposition?
I'm not.
So if you are not, you are saying things that you shouldn't say on TV.
On a serious note,
yeah,
what do party leaders and those in authority truly discuss behind closed doors about the future of this country? Seriously, because it seems like it's a dark path for a very long time.
So look, there are obvious challenges in the global economy. The problems you see in Nigeria are not even half of what you see in Kenya, for instance. People like you would simply disappear if you were in Kenya. You'll be abducted now with these utterances you made. But you are here. People have been calling the president names. People have been calling so many people names, and they are all there. And it is APC that is giving people room to say whatever they like. We have a democracy.
Right.
Whatever we do, we do because we are also involved. Because everybody is affected by what is happening. If it is insecurity, if it is hunger, it is in everybody's home. Whether you have everybody in Nigeria, you know, we are our brothers and keepers, sisters keepers. So whatever happens to my sister in the village, somehow I have to take responsibility. And then Mr. President is now in Lagos with his people. I'm sure people from his village are coming around his place to get help. But if the system was good, everybody was able to feed themselves as much as they want, nobody would go begging anybody for anything.
Okay.
So APC as a party has not yet started campaigning, but it has got a lot of achievements to really showcase. But it is not time. Allow the time for campaigns to come. Then people will start talking about this.
You know, I mean, when you say people have said so many things against the president, I think that President Goodluck Jonathan had it worse. You know, they literally pummeled him day to day. But anyway, thank you so much. You
are sympathetic to Goodluck Jonathan because you're a PDP.
No,
listen, but President Jonathan is also sympathetic to APC.
No. Okay. Mr. Kabiru Faskari Ibrahim, thank you so much for coming on New Year Day to join us on the Rise Prime Time.
Thank you very much for having me.